What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mike It Yourself. In this week's video, you know what? It's going to be something pretty easy to install, but I'm going to be very cautious with this just because I don't know much about these products and there's not a whole lot of content out there for you to go by. So let's take a look. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a center stand for my 17 Road Glide. So you're probably asking yourself, why are you adding a center stand to your Harley, to your Road Glide, right? Makes more sense probably for the Cholo because it's got air system in it. Well, the reality is this. I have to arrange my bikes every week in my driveway or my carport to get them out of the way for the landscapers and guys like that so they can do a good job, right? And when they're leaning, of course, they take up some more space. A straight up bike takes less space up. Those of you who probably bought one of those jack stand deals where you lift it up and you can put it on top of it and then you just scoot it around your garage or whatever, one-handed, all that kind of cool stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Now the difference is that thing sits pretty wide. So even if you put your bike up against the wall, you probably got some of that jack sticking out. Where on a center stand, you get none of it really sticking out. So you get the effect of having your bike stood straight up. So you save a little bit of space there and you don't have that excess poking out. I rode a lot of Japanese bikes prior to getting into the Harley world. And that's one of the things I kind of did like quite a bit because it gave you the opportunity to go up, do a couple of things, right? Like if your space is limited, you have the ability to stand it straight up. You could wash your rear wheel a little bit easier because you could just rotate it. And you know, other maintenance things. If you need to get up under there, you didn't necessarily have to put a scissor jack in there. Especially for, you know, say sport, well, like my FJR, I had an FJR 1300, and that one, you'd have to do the special lift, right? Because of the fairings and all that kind of stuff. But with a center stand, you had easier access. So let's take a look at the kit. I'll tell you a little bit about it, and I'll tell you why I'm cautious. eBay. There is no name or no brand to this. There are a bunch of different sellers selling the exact same product. None of it has a brand name. So really what you need to be, you know, is cautious, right? In inspecting your part. I will tell you that I was shipped one that was used and reached out to the vendor. They got me right, sent me a brand new one. So I kind of went through and you know, looking at like the different welds, making sure that's all good. The first one that I got was damaged on the foot pad. It was bent up, so these, you got these jam nuts because this one's an adjustable. And that'll let me kind of move it, you know, up and down. And if this works well, then I may end up buying the same thing for the Cholo because I don't want to go with the electric center stand. I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know, it just doesn't really interest me, at least not right now, right? So overall, the product feels pretty good. It's heavy as hell, that's for sure. But again, just kind of looking, and I'm not a welder, so what I'm looking for really is just like, does anything look weak or like it's gonna crack? I can tell you these welds, they're not like the best in the world that I've ever seen. I've seen like some videos where guys are doing cool like dimes or whatever. That's not these, but it looks good. And you get your mounting bracket. This is, I guess, some kind of like nut plate that's going to go on the backside. And then you get your screws. There is no Loctite. I will definitely be putting a Loctite on these just to make sure nothing backs out on me. All right, guys, so unfortunately, my microphone cut out in this portion of the video. But essentially what I was trying to show you all here is this is the view from under the Road Glide. And you have three mounting points. So you have that first mounting point, that's the forward one there, and then two rear ones. So you've got, you know, two parts that come with the hardware. One is a long bar with two holes in it, and then separately you've got that nut plate thing that really isn't the best of ideas. So you'll see here in the video, I decided to ditch that just because it really wasn't a easy part to install as far as getting that nut plate in there. It just didn't make any sense. Alright guys, so I 120% jinxed myself. that installation should have been way easier, but it wasn't. The problem that you have is the front screw. They gave you this little, let me show you. They give you this thing, and you're supposed to put this on the top of the little plate that's under your bike and figure out some way to keep it from moving as you try to push the screw from the bottom up. So of course what happens is it gets flipped over, pushed to the side. It's super narrow in there, so it's not like you got plenty of room to put your fat finger, right? So what do? You adapt and overcome. So what I did is I lifted up the bike. I got it high enough where I can get my nut cert, pliers or tool, whatever the hell you want to call it, and I put a nut cert in there so that way it's captive, it's not going to go anywhere, and I don't have to worry about it moving while I'm trying to put the screw in. So did that, found a screw that worked for me, cut it down to size so that way it didn't hit the transmission or whatever. And then the other back ones, they were all right. They didn't go in too bad. Definitely put Loctite. I don't trust that, you know, at all. So let's take a quick look, and then I'll show you kind of it in action. Yeah, and then I'll tell you a little bit about it. All right, so there it is. And you can see right now on my side stand. So I'll get this camera set up so you can watch, but it's not a hard process. You got your foot bar or whatever on the other side. Now I will tell you that it sits so close and right underneath your passenger peg that you're not putting it down while you're on the bike. You have to essentially put yourself on your side stand, and then combination of your foot and lifting up on your crash bar to get this thing up on its center stand. So that could definitely be you know, one of those things that you say, nope, don't want to deal with it, whatever. So yeah, let me get you set up. I'll put it up on the stand and take a look. All right, so we're on our side stand right now. I'm gonna go ahead and stand the bike up, pushing down on the little lever, and then once you feel it kind of hit like it's balanced on the two, then give it a lift and pull back. It's not hard to do, considering the weight of the bike. And yeah, now you're on the side stand. So let me give you a little closer look. Now I've got mine already adjusted. Unfortunately, not as high as I'd like. I wanted to get that rear tire off the ground, but that ain't gonna work out, unfortunately. So that's what it looks like on that side. I know there are some center stands that are out there that hit your crossover pipe. This one does not. So that is nice. You can have it installed and it doesn't hit your pipe. So there you go. All right, so let's take a look at how much space is actually going to be saved, right? So I was kind of thinking through it. I was going to end the video, and then I thought, proof's in the pudding. I needed to move my bikes anyways. So let's see how much space I actually save by putting on this center stand. So just kind of from my walkway here, my area, 28.5 inches. So let's stand it upright and see how much space we get. So this thing's pretty simple. The way I like to do it is I get it touching the ground. Let's stand up the bike until I feel it touch the other pad. And once I know they're both on the ground making contact, then I'll go ahead and give it the lift. And that's it. Pretty damn easy. Let's see how much space we saved. All right, so I have my bars actually straight because as soon as I turn them to lock into the locking position, I'm actually going to pull away from the wall more. So I'm actually going to gain more space, but I wanted to see, like, from most extension to most extension, what was going to be my spacing. And now I am at 40 inches, 40 3/4 of an inch. So a huge space saving for me, at least, by having my motorcycle be able to park vertically. So I don't know, like I said, unless I find some kind of catastrophic failure in the device itself, this might actually be a pretty lucky win for me. We'll see. Alright guys, so this is going to be a wrap for this week's video. You know, as I mentioned, I kind of jinxed myself with the installation. The thing I recommend is putting a nutsert in that forward hole just to make your life a whole lot easier instead of having to deal with that little tab thing and trying to manage your finger above it. Definitely want to put on some blue Loctite just to keep those things from backing out, but me shaking this bike around, and I've moved it around back and forth just to see like how sensitive it was, and it's actually holding up very good. I'm a little impressed based on kind of, I guess, expectation of the product, right? It's a cheap offshore bought product, but it seems to be working good. So we'll have to kind of watch this one, and I'll have to, you know, circle back with you all if it does fail. But for now, like I said, I think it's a win. I'm not quite sold just yet if I want to do it to our Cholo, but based on the savings of space here, I just might have to, or find another way to stand the Cholo upright. The big Benny to this is this center stand comes along with you. If I go with anything else on the Cholo, then meaning like a block of wood or some kind of other stand, then it's something extra I got to carry with me, which I don't want to necessarily have to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found the content of value, and until my next video post, I hope to see you in the win.